Welcome back to the Wasted Local Fantasy Football Podcast. I am your host, Daniel, alongside the one, the only, the friggin' winner, the number one team, Josiah.
That's me. I'm here, guys. Don't worry. And it's funny because I'm here. Daniel's not.
Yeah, we're actually recording. I'm recording this from my bedroom right now.
It's recording
weird.
this. I was kind of hoping that I would be able to record it from your bedroom, but I guess not. Things didn't work out.
I mean, don't lie. I mean, we wouldn't get anything done from my bedroom if we were both here.
You're not wrong. But if it sounds a little bit different this week, that's why, because we're remote.
Yes. I'll make it sound as good as I can.
Just like the Miami Dolphins' chances of winning the Super Bowl, remote.
I mean, they put up a pretty good game against the Bills on Sunday.
Well, I don't know if the Bills just kind of pooped the bed.
They did, quite. I got to watch it with my brother Nathan.
Some live scouting there.
It was fun. I got to watch a few ex-Cowboys, Cole Beasley, Alan Hearns, Taco Charlton, live, and I got to watch Cole Beasley score his first touchdown as a Buffalo Bill. So that was awesome.
Nice.
So, yeah, that was pretty cool.
All
right.
Didn't do anything.
Nope. You got something?
No, I was actually just saying that I don't have anything to say.
Oh, that's right. I mean, the Steelers were on a bye week, and
yeah,
no duck for this week. So
Mason Rudolph is supposed to be back soon.
I mean, do you want him back over Duck Dynasty?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Either way, we're on our second and third string quarterback. So
true. All right. So let's go ahead and get to this week's recap. Starting at the top, we've got Hoveround Genocide, myself, defeating VA Chalupa Batman 94 to 69.5.
Yikes. That's not great.
No.
Not at all.
This whole week, there was multiple teams that scored below 100 points.
If he would have started Chase Edmonds instead of David Montgomery and then sat his defense or started his backup tight end, he would have beat you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this was a rough week for seemingly everybody except for me. But you had two people on your team, Lamar Jackson and Dalvin Cook, both show up for you big. And that was just about it. Your kicker got 15 points.
Yeah, other than that, everybody was below 10. So it wasn't great.
You had some decent 11-point games from Robert Woods and Golden Tate on your bench.
Yeah. I was toying around with who to start. Like, I was really... It was either Calvin Ridley or Robert Woods is what I was going for. And Nathan warned me. He's like, the Rams just got Jalen Ramsey. He's like, so don't start Ridley. And I'm like, nah, he'll be fine. Then Matt Ryan goes out and, the rest is history.
I'm curious to see how that's going to go because you have Calvin Ridley and they just got rid of Mohamed Sanu. So in theory, Calvin Ridley should get more stats, but also Matt Ryan is hurt. So maybe he'll get less stats. Who knows?
Yeah. They're not saying it's super serious. They said it was just a sprained ankle, but he could be out a couple weeks. So we'll see. It sucks because Lamar Jackson's on a bye this week, so I gotta. I traded for a quarterback, so we'll get into the trades a little bit later. But yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so
beat him pretty handily.
Yeah. Surprisingly, with a score of 94, I beat him pretty handily.
Yeah.
All right, so next we have the Wrath of Quon, Nathan defeating Mind Flayer Bonner Brittany 81.4 to 67.6.
Ew. Ugh. What a game.
This is another one that was just,
trash.
Yeah. From teams like like Brittany's who have been putting up decent points every week. And Nathan's been right around the 100-point mark ish, or a little bit below. It just, ugh. Yeah, there was nothing good about this matchup at all.
He did have Sony Michel on his bench, who scored 3 touchdowns, got him 21.9 points. But even then, he would barely have broken one. He wouldn't even have hit 100 points if he started him.
Yeah. We were talking about it on Saturday whenever we were at the hotel up in Buffalo about Michelle or Devin Singletary. And I don't know if I swayed him to start Devin Singletary, but I do distinctly remember saying, I'm not going to tell you to start one or the other because whoever I tell you to start will end up sucking.
Well, Singletary's going against the Dolphins, and that's a pretty safe bet, but wasn't he kind of half injured, just like a little bit sore?
Probably.
Yeah. So
I mean, even Frank Gore didn't do well against. I mean, the Dolphins. You would think that they would each put up like at least 10 apiece, but they didn't do anything. And that whole offense until like late in the third quarter couldn't really do much.
That doesn't look great for them, the Bills.
No.
And it doesn't look great for the Dolphins either. They're going to have to trade Ryan Fitzpatrick or he's going to get them a win.
Yeah. Yeah, and then you'll see the Bengals go up and get the first round pick or the number 1 pick.
Hate to see it.
Yeah. But there's not much to say about this game. So let's move on.
Yes.
We will go ahead and get to... This was the shit bowl. This was the one that I said it was like 2 assholes pressed against each other. And Roger lost.
Oh, man. It just shows that Jess is superior when it comes to having, I don't know how to put it.
We gave her a funeral this week.
We did.
Or this past week. And she would have beat most of the teams in the league because she scored 105 points.
Yeah, I mean, we might have to dig her up eventually. If she wins a couple in a row, we'll dig her up.
I mean, this was only her second win, so I'm not going to jump the gun too quickly.
I will say,
and she beat Roger. So I mean, I would still keep her buried, but it's still not going to be great.
I feel super guilty for giving her a hard time about the Rams defense, and she put them on her bench and they scored 22 points.
20. Yep.
Jess, don't listen to me. I know you're probably not listening to this right now, but don't listen to me. And then
I don't think she listens to any of this because in order for her to even see a trade that I proposed to her last week, I had to text her and be like, yo, check your trades. And then immediately it was declined. It's like, okay.
Matt Stafford did really well for her. The Rams defense did really well. She has Corey Davis on her bench that did really well. Emmanuel Sanders, brand new 49er. That's interesting.
Yep.
Josh
Just
Jacobs,
today.
Hunter Henry, Allen Robinson, Michael Thomas, Derrick Henry. What is going on? Her team looks great. Like, as bad as it looked last week, she's one quarterback start away from being one of the highest, maybe the highest scoring team in the league.
Yeah, and Kyler Murray kind of disappointed this week. Only 7 points. I figured against that Giants defense that he would have gotten at least 20.
Well,
at least his projected 19. But
it's not even like he did poorly. Chase Edmonds just ran for 150 yards and 3 touchdowns. So, I mean, that's what they did. Yeah. The Giants couldn't stop the run game, and Kyler Murray didn't have to score any touchdowns, and it showed on his fantasy stats. He only had 104 yards passing.
Well, I mean, if you got a running back that can do that.
Yeah. Recap of Rodgers' team, trash.
Yeah.
Trash.
Didn't Devonta Freeman get ejected for trying to start a fight?
I saw that he left the game. I also saw the Falcons' backup got knocked out and possibly a neck injury as well. So Who even knows who's going to start for Falcons running back? Hey, possible waiver wire spoiler. Look at that. There's some running backs that have been hurt just recently. If you need a running back, maybe check the depth charts.
I'm going to need to do that because I kind of traded away one of my good running backs today.
Oh.
But yeah, so Jess defeated Roger 105.3 to 89.8. So next up, we've got my favorite game of the week, yet again. Team King Dingus defeating Jed 121.5 to 111.9. Aaron Rodgers, FT Dubs. David Johnson didn't do shit, so it didn't matter because Aaron Rodgers put up 43 fantasy points.
Josh was in serious trouble when David Johnson was active, and it was actually trending on Twitter. David Johnson, like, screw you. Like, all these people were so mad that the Cardinals came out and said that he was active, and then they didn't play him, like, at all. So people were mad. But, yeah, Aaron Rodgers, 43.8 points. Carried the team to the win.
I mean, yeah, he did. Stephon Diggs showed up again, not as big as he did last week.
But 17.7 points is solid. And then Darren Waller has been silently one of the better tight ends in the league.
Yeah.
And got him 28.1 points. Even with Marvin Jones Jr., Jed's flex position getting 38.3 points and his kicker getting 14 points, with Pat Mahomes going down, Kelsey also suffered from that, and then Jed suffered from both. He still scored 111.9 points, though.
Yeah, he still would have beat most everybody else. Everybody but, obviously, Josh and you. So, but yeah, Mahomes being hurt and out for a few games will hurt him, but I see that he went and snagged Kirk Cousins, who has been on a streak. I don't expect that to last, but because it's Kirk Cousins. He's got Mohamed Sanu. He got traded today, didn't he?
He got traded to the Patriots. So now, instead of scoring 0.8 points, he's either going to score 25 points or no points. So, I mean, that could be really good for him, though, because it's just a matter of time before Josh Gordon gets caught with weed again and he has to go out. So Mohamed Sanu could be that guy.
Yeah, and Josh Gordon actually played this week, but not much. I dropped him last week because he just wasn't worth me trying to figure out if I should start him or not every week, and it was getting really annoying whenever I did start him. So
I don't think he is what they expected him to be. And
no.
The Patriots are also really good at spreading the ball around, and that's partially so that they don't have to pay these guys a lot of money like you'd have to pay an elite receiver like Julio Jones.
Yep. And that's unfortunate for – I mean, I think Josh Gordon could be a great receiver in the right system. He'd be a good, I don't know, send him to San Francisco.
Or Denver.
Denver could use one. Yeah.
Mile High Stadium. It was a weed joke. I'm sorry. It wasn't very funny, but I threw it in there.
All right. Are you ready for your game, Josiah? Why don't you lead this one off since it's your game?
Was ready for my game. Michael apparently was not. Hold on. Updating app. Hold on. Loading. ESPN is trash. All right. Wait. Oh, it sent me into next week. I hate ESPN. This is just sucking the life right out of my moment.
While you are trying to figure out your phone because the ESPN app sucks.
136.4 to 99.1. What's
there you
up?
Go. Sitting pretty at 6-1 up there.
Russell Wilson with his worst game of the season worried me a little bit. Adam Thielen caught a touchdown pass on their first drive and then pulled his hamstring. I was like, this is not a great way to start the week for me. Not great. But
well, you had Thielen who scored 9, Zach Ertz, who scored 4.8, and the rest of your team scored over 10 points. So I'd say it's a solid, win, even with Thielen pulling a hamstring. I mean, Latavius Murray was a great pickup with 29.5 points with Alvin Kamara being out.
Yeah, I was watching that very closely all week because Kamara was like, is he going to play? Is he not going to play? So I scooped his backup just in case, and it paid off. And then Austin Eckler with that 40-yard touchdown reception, that put him over. He had over 100 yards receiving again. I don't trust Eckler as well as he's been doing for me. I'm still nervous about him.
What, with Melvin Gordon being back?
Yeah, with Melvin Gordon being back and their team just being awful. Eckler has still been putting up fantasy points, but I don't know how much I can trust that to continue. Without that 40-yard touchdown catch, he still does pretty well for me, but it's not 22 points like it was this week. And then, I get Chubb back next week. That's pretty cool. Cam Sutton for me, or Cortland Sutton. Cam Sutton's the Steelers player. Cortland Sutton got me 11.7 points in my flex, which I'm excited about because he's a perfect kind of little plug-and-play bye-week receiver, and he did exactly what I needed him to do with Chubb and Kamara and Landry and just like all the things. I didn't have players to play because of bye weeks and injuries. So thank you, Cortland Sutton. That was great. Jimmy Garoppolo ain't it, though. Jimmy G ain't it.
Michael was telling me today that he went out and picked up Sam Darnold because of his performance last week because he knew Jimmy Garoppolo, he doesn't put up a whole lot of points, and then you see Sam Darnold with, 4 interceptions with minus 6.7 points on his bench. I don't expect him to be on Michael's bench much longer.
Well, we were talking about it because he was trying to trade. I have Phillip Rivers as my backup. Roger has like 15 quarterbacks on his bench, and he's like, what do I do? Roger actually told him, he said, do yourself a favor. You're trying to trade away some of your better players. Just try to scoop someone off the waiver wire. There's some decent quarterbacks out there. So with Sam Darnold coming back, Michael even said, I know that New England is going to crush Sam Darnold, but he's playing Jacksonville, Miami, New York Giants, Washington Redskins, Oakland, Cincinnati, Miami, Baltimore, Pitt, Buffalo. But there's like 8 games in a row there where he's playing the bottom 3 teams in the NFL. So that was Michael's kind of strategy for picking up Darnold and hoping that he can kind of get some garbage points against some garbage teams.
I mean, it's a smart move. I didn't even think about that. I didn't look at the schedule or anything. So, I mean, that's pretty.
Yeah,
he might pay off for him then. Then he's got Kareem Hunt is eligible to start practicing, I believe, this week or next week.
That worries me as a Nick Chubb owner.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how you felt about that, but
not full Chubb right now. I can't.
Not full Chubb.
We might be getting half Chubb.
But I don't feel like even if Kareem Hunt does come back this week, that even in the next few weeks, he'll even
But even if he takes 5 touches away or 8 touches away from Nick Chubb, he goes from like top 3 fantasy running back to maybe top 15 fantasy running back. And that I'm a little worried about because, like I said, I already don't trust Eckler, and Kamara has been limping around, especially with Drew Brees out. So I don't know. As well as my team has been doing, I'm worried that I'm going to make the playoffs, and then just when I need my team to perform, they're gonna pull a Roger and just.
That's what I'm hoping.
Yeah, I know.
But
just for the record, Daniel and I are FaceTiming, and he has some kind of alien getting his mind blown. He's changing. He has his face changed. I can't actually see Daniel's face, but that's what I'm
told me you didn't want to see my face, so I put a sticker over it.
That's actually big true right there. I appreciate it. Thanks for.
I can change the sticker if you want.
No, what sticker are you going with now?
I don't know. Let me see. Let me see what I got here.
Okay.
So why don't you take us into the league standings now.
League
while I change my
standings.
sticker.
Hold on. I will take you into league standings. Mostly, let's see. In first place, me, Unsolicited DAC picks. In second place, surprise, the Wrath of Quon, Nathan, who has
He jumped up big.
been climbing. And number 3, Hoveround Genocide, Daniel, were you 3 last week? You were right around there.
I was 3 or 4, yeah.
And with his win this week, Team King Dingus, Josh Hall, climbs into 4, which, if the playoffs were today, he'd be in the playoffs. That's a big deal. 5, slipping a little bit. Bald Bear Fighter, Jed Flesher. 6, slipping a little bit. The Chosen One, Michael Bonner. Mind Flayer Bonner, Brittany, is at number 7. Sorry, I'm distracted because Daniel has turned into some kind of wildebeest looking
Pumbaa.
Pumbaa.
It's
That's
Pumbaa.
it. And then 8, Team Hairless, Jess Flesher. 9, Bruce. 10, Roger. No surprise.
Weird. So yeah, a few big changes. I mean, Michael falls out of the playoff contention. So does Jed.
Yes.
And Josh gets that boost that he needs right up there, and his points. He is.
When it
Josiah
comes to
finally surpassed me in points.
yes.
And Josh is 6 points below me in points. So Josh is working his way up, and his
He's had some
team's
bad
starting
luck.
to. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
he's got no. I'm just saying he's had some bad luck because he's got a lot of points and not as many wins as he maybe should. Where on the flip side, Michael doesn't have very many points, but he has the wins. So if it comes down to a tiebreaker, which it is right now because they're both 4 and 3, Josh is in and Michael's out. So is Jed actually.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's only one team, Josiah, that's 6 and 1.
Yes.
Then the Wrath of Quon, Nathan, and myself are both 5 and 2. Team King Dingus, Josh, the Chosen One, Michael, and Bald Bear Fighter, Jed, are all 4 and 3. Team Hairless, VH Chalupa Batman, Mind Flayer Bonner, all 2 and 5, and Roger at 1 and 6. So we're starting to get to the point to where the bottom teams are not going to be able to catch back up.
The teams are
easily.
separating.
Yeah, and the 5 and 2 teams and the 4 and 3 teams are still kind of really close, but the 4 and 2 or the 4 and 3 teams away from you, they've got to do some climbing, and those 3 teams are going to be really battling for that 4th spot in the playoffs.
Yeah, these
Now-
next couple weeks are pretty important as far as that final position in the playoffs, as it's concerned.
Yeah, and I'm worried because I've got a tough slate of games ahead of me.
That's
Gotta
another
play a
thing
few.
that Michael and I talked about last night. His first half of the season was relatively simple for him, but in his last half of the season, he plays everybody in the top 5 at least once. So that's going to be hard for him. If he wins, that's great because he's going to be in the playoffs. If he loses, he might be hanging out with Roger, which nobody wants to do ever.
Yeah, in fantasy or in real life.
It's facts.
So let's go ahead and
Speaking of Roger,
what's that word?
I-
It's an M word. They say whenever somebody dies.
the moratorium
Sure.
in memory of.
Yeah, there we go. In memory of what could have been a solid Roger team. Better luck next year because you're not coming back. There's no way.
We buried Jess last week, and I threw it out to Roger. I said, Roger, if you can beat Jess this week, we won't bury anybody this week. What'd you do? You lost.
You fucking lost.
You lost. Roger, you are our burial of the week. Moment of silence. And we're back.
Well, we would need to take like double because the grave's going to have to be a lot bigger.
Yeah.
But
oh man.
But anyway, all right. So let's go ahead and get to our final standing projections, which has changed a good bit as well this week. Team King Dingus is sitting at 4. I dropped down to 2 this week. So it's the first time, I think, all year that I haven't been projected at finishing first.
Josh was projected first after the draft. I remember that.
Yeah, and now he's at 4. Nathan, the Wrath of Quon, is sitting at number 3. Bald Bear Fighter drops to 6. Team Hairless Jess is still at 5. It's still projecting her to finish at 5th place. Mind Flayer Bonner Brittany dropped to 9. VH Chalupa Batman is still sitting at 10. Unsolicited DAC Picks Josiah jumped up to 1st.
Yeah, and I really haven't done that much to my team except for one trade. So suck it, ESPN, for thinking I was going to finish 8th place.
Well, there's still time.
I know.
There is still time.
There is. What are you doing?
Huh?
I don't know. There's some kind of... Oh, there... I don't know. There was some scratching noises.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay.
Oh, crap. The microphone's right there. I was scratching my chest.
Okay.
My bad, dog. Michael, the chosen one, sitting at projected to finish 7th, and Roger projected to finish 8th, which I don't really get, but whatever.
You can finish 8th, but we still buried you.
Yeah. So, do you want to get into the projected playoff bracket now, or do you want to jump into some trades?
Let's do some trades, because we kind of went over the playoffs just a little bit with how we talked about Josh sliding up into that 4th spot. So we kind of got a little bit of a snapshot already.
Yeah. So I made 2 trades today.
I noticed.
And the second one was, Odell Beckham's been riding my bench, and I need another running back, especially because of the first trade that I made today. I traded Nathan Odell Beckham Jr. for Philip Lindsay. But the big trade today, and Roger and I were back and forth about it for a little bit. I asked him what it would take for me to get Mr. Brisket, Jacoby Brissett, from him.
Oh, yes.
And he said, well, I could work around, doing something with Dalvin Cook. And I was like, well, that's not a good trade. Like, just straight up, no way. So he offered me Jacoby Brissett and Tyreek Hill for Dalvin Cook. I denied that because I'm not getting any type of real value from those two that I would out of Cook. So we settled on, I gave Roger Dalvin Cook and Golden Tate for Jacoby Brissett, Amari Cooper, and Tyreek Hill. Now, I've got McCaffrey, so I've got a number 1 running back. My biggest downfall this year, especially on those weeks that I've lost, have been my wide receivers. I didn't have any true number 1 wide receiver. It was week to week, and typically none of them really performed. And if somebody did, it was like 14 points on my bench. So I gave up possibly one of the best running backs for. I think it was a decent trade. I'm still like kind of sick to my stomach about it, but
yeah, especially
I'll be all right with it.
Where you got Dalvin Cook in the draft, I believe he was in the 2nd round. I know I picked Nick Chubb over Dalvin Cook. So one of the things that I always think about in a trade, you're not necessarily trading points for points.
Mm-hmm.
You're trading positions for positions that you need. So, I mean, Jacoby Brissett scored almost 30 points last week, but that doesn't make him an elite quarterback in the league, but it still makes him a solid option at quarterback. So, but you couldn't necessarily trade Dalvin Cook for Jacoby Brissett straight up, because Dalvin Cook, even though he's not scoring almost 30 points every week, he's been one of the top 3 running backs in fantasy. So as far as positional value goes, Dalvin Cook has more positional value, plus or minus, than maybe the next running back. But your receivers with Tyreek Hill and Amari Cooper, that could be outstanding for you. And you can make up a lot of the points that you lose with Dalvin Cook. Jacoby Brissett, who's your quarterback right now?
Well, I've got Lamar Jackson and Matt Ryan.
And Matt Ryan is hurt.
And Lamar Jackson's on a bye this week, but I don't know how long Matt Ryan's going to be out.
Yeah.
And with Jackson being on a bye, I probably wouldn't. I mean, the whole trade was more of a way to get some good running backs, really, because Jacoby Brissett, in my mind, like, I can start him or I can use him in a trade because he's doing decent.
Yeah.
So, over Matt Ryan, who's hurt and didn't do great this week, even whenever he was in there. Wouldn't have, people are still kind of like leery about Matt Ryan because of his past, and people wouldn't really, people don't feel good about trading anybody for him, but Jacoby Brissett's doing pretty decent. So that's more of my whole thought process. And then I threw him Golden Tate because I've got so many wide receivers that the less wide receivers that I have to try to figure out who to start, the less of a chance of me making a dumb mistake and leaving one on my bench that scores 20 points.
That's one of the reasons that I traded for DeAndre Hopkins, is because it's hard to decide when everyone's projected at 8 points who to start. I'm not ever going to sit DeAndre Hopkins. Even if he's had a couple weeks where he scored me 10, 12 points. This week he scored me 22 points, which is great. I think as far as the Roger Daniel trade goes, that Daniel might have a little bit of the edge. Josh needed a running, not Josh. I did it again.
Roger.
Josh, gosh, oh man.
It's
Sorry, Josh. Didn't mean to bury you right there. Roger, you're still buried. But Roger needed a running back. He's needed a running back pretty much all season, and he got his running back in Dalvin Cook. You traded away Watkins and Tate, who maybe if there's a bye week or an injury or something, maybe one of those could get into your starting spot, maybe a flex-ish, maybe. I don't know. But instead, you have Tyreek Hill and Amari Cooper, who are going to start for you every week, no matter what, no matter who they play. So Roger gets 100% a great running back. You get 2 starting receivers. And then, like I said, Roger gets Watkins and Tate, who, as far as his team is concerned, might be an upgrade for him. And then if Brissett keeps scoring 28 to 30 points a week, he might take your starting spot. So who knows? Mm-hmm. As far as the Nathan Daniel trade goes, I don't really think there's a winner here because he traded a running back that has been doing really bad as far as his projections has been going for a receiver that's been doing really bad as far as his projections have been going. So basically, this was, I'm sick of looking at this player on my bench. Yeah. You can have him, and I need a running back. You need a receiver. Let's just trade trash players for trash players. Both of them have the potential to do really well. Both of them have the potential just to sit on your bench, and this could end up being an absolutely worthless trade because neither of you could end up starting either player. So not a bad deal. Like I said, you're just sick of looking at them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Beckham has started like 2 weeks this year. In both those weeks, he didn't do anything. Well, I think I started him week 1. He did pretty decent. And I started him another week, and he got like 2 points, and then he's sat on my bench ever since. And with me getting rid of Cook, my only other running back is Miles Sanders, and he isn't. I mean, Phillip Lindsay's better than Miles Sanders, so I would rather have Phillip Lindsay with a 7 to 10 points a week, maybe, over Miles Sanders, who is, 12 points, then 2 points, then 8 points, then 6 points. It's just,
and that's not even to mention someone like Chase Edmonds, who just scored. He was on Bruce's bench, but he scored over 30 points this week, and that's just because David Johnson was hurt. And like I said, there's quite a few running backs in the NFL that, like Kamara, is hurt. David Johnson, hurt. I'm not going to throw out any other names because do the research, find the waiver wire. You might be able to pick up a solid running back. So I think this is getting interesting as far as backup QBs and backup running backs. This is an interesting fantasy season. Who's going to make the correct waiver wire pickup to help their team win?
Yeah. All right. Were there any? No, there weren't any other trades at all this week, were there? I don't see anything else on here.
I know this. I feel like this week more than any other week. I mean, there's only those two trades that have happened, but teams like Michael and Jed and like a few teams that have fallen out of the playoff race might be looking to do more options, especially like Jed has Mahomes hurt and Mariota was his backup. I think he picked up Cousins, so he should be fine. But like I said, some teams like Michael not feeling great about their current projections, and I think it could be interesting going down the stretch. Some of the trades that might happen.
I've talked to Michael about a trade, but he wants to wait until after the waiver wires to see what he can get. So there might be another trade in the works between me and Michael, but we'll let that be what it is if it happens after the waiver wires.
Yeah. So, and some of these teams are just kind of completely out of it. It's kind of sad that there's no teams out there with 3 wins right now, because there's definitely some tiers forming, an upper class and a lower class. And so it kind of makes it a little bit less interesting, but that final playoff spot is still in a hot race right now.
I mean, without people in with 3 wins, I think it's a lot more interesting with you got 3 teams at 4-3 that are fighting for that last playoff spot. Then you've got 2 teams that are 5-2 that are fighting to keep their spot.
Yeah.
So then you've got you at the top, which if you lose one game and me or Nathan would happen to win that week, it's game 1 because you could be knocked out of first place. But
the points are close. So in order for me to lose, I would have to score probably a small amount of points, which would make either you or Josh, who have the second and third most points right now, you could jump me pretty easily if I have a dud week and lose.
Yeah, Josh would have to keep winning because if he drops to 4-4, even with that amount of points, it wouldn't really help him out much because we're getting down to the wire. We're
only midway. We're at the midway point right now.
Yeah, so I mean anything can happen. So yeah, I'm excited to hopefully see what this trade can do and see if it can help my team actually be more consistent, because I'm up and down, up and down, up and down, and it's getting really, really old. So
up and down, up and down. This podcast is brought to you by Blue Chew. Just kidding.
One day.
Maybe.
Blue Chew. Anyway. All right. So I'll just go through this real quick. The projected playoff brackets, since we've basically already given it away. Right now at the bottom tier of the consolation bracket would be Roger versus Bruce. Then Jess versus Brittany. And Michael versus Jed, which the 2 people who have won every year for the past 3 years are both in the consolation ladder right now. So Josiah, Nathan, Josh, we got to keep this up.
We do. I mean, they have the potential to possibly get that number 1 pick next year, which it could be a big deal as far as regaining their title hopes, but not this year. I'm sticking on the top.
I mean, the number 1 pick this year didn't really do Nathan too well with Saquon going out for a few weeks.
Yeah.
So, but he's still at 5-2. So,
I honestly, having the number one pick is such a big responsibility because you don't get another pick for 20 picks. So if someone like Saquon goes down, we saw it when Linden last year, was it Todd Gurley? And the year before that, it was
there was
David
one
Johnson.
year it was David Johnson. But yeah. I think he drafted Bell. No, you drafted Bell, then you sat out.
And if your first round pick misses, it's not good.
Devastating.
Yeah, it pretty much knocks you out of the playoffs because that's minus 10, 15 points right away on your team.
Mm-hmm. All right, and sitting at the top, obviously, if the playoffs started today, it would be Josh versus Josiah and myself versus Nathan.
Those matchups are tight. Josh has been putting up more points than anybody week in and week out. He's had maybe 2 bad weeks in total, but besides that, he's hitting that 140, 150 mark almost every week.
Yep. And that's scary for you, and especially this year whenever our playoffs are only 1 week per round. So
he's not the guy I want to face.
Yeah, I mean, between me and Nathan, I mean, we're both kind of in the same boat. 1 week we'll put up 100 and some points. The next week we put up 80. So that'd be a really kind of up in the air type of
luck of the draw kind of
deal. Yeah.
I think as of right now, whoever wins between me and Josh is going to beat whoever wins between you and Nathan. So you guys can suck it.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But, the season's not over yet. So there's plenty of time for all 4 of us to get knocked out of the playoffs. So
shoot.
All right, so let's go ahead into our final segment, and we'll do matchups for week 8.
You want to pick a winner and loser of the week?
Oh, I forgot to do that. Roger, you're my loser of the week.
Michael,
obviously,
you're my loser of the week.
I mean, Michael is very close second. Roger definitely gets it because he got beat by the other worst team in the league, and no matter what, he just can't get out of that hole. So
yeah, and we threw dirt on him and buried him in that hole. Michael is my pick for the week because, I mean, he talks about it all the time, how poorly some of his star players are playing, like Keenan Allen and Cooper Kupp, Marlon Mack, Melvin Gordon, Jimmy Garoppolo. They're just not showing up week in and week out, and it's killing him. He has Ezekiel Elliott coming up on a bye this week. So
that's
also
hurt him.
Not great for him. He went from first place to, I think, 6th place, completely out of the playoffs in a period of, I think he started 3-0, and now he has lost. He's 4-3 now, so he's not doing great. He's on a little bit of a losing slide, and I don't think it's going to turn around for him, just looking at what's going on. So he's my loser. I would pick me as the winner, but I'm always the winner because I'm awesome. Picking Nathan as my winner for the 2nd week in a row because 2 weeks ago, once again, I buried him for sliding from possible 1st place all the way down to 6th place. But he has taken care of business. Not pretty. He has gotten some luck. He only scored 80 points this week. But he's gotten the wins. And he's in 2nd place now. So hopefully for him, his team starts to score a little bit more and average more than 100 points. But as of right now, he's kind of sitting pretty up there in the number 2 spot.
Yeah, my winner is going to be Josh.
Yeah, he was my 2nd pick.
Yeah, with this win over Jed, that gives him that playoff spot right now, as it were right now, and his team's starting to become dangerous. He's got Diggs that's performing, Rodgers is performing, Waller. I mean,
Godwin, gosh.
Yeah, I'm so happy that he beat Jed. That's why he's my winner. So
he did just lose a running back though, so I don't know how I don't even know when he's supposed to come back. He might be done for the season. So
I hope, because I play him this week. So
yeah, he did just that's no good for him.
no.
But yeah, he's doing well.
All right, so those were the winners and the losers. I can't believe I completely forgot to do those this week. That's my bad.
No, that's okay. We buried Roger, and he was like a super loser, so I guess we kind of did it twice.
True. Very true. All right, so let's go ahead and get on to the matchups this week. And starting at the top, we've got Team King Dingus versus me, Hoveround Genocide.
Huge.
Now, yeah, this is going to be a huge game. The projections, obviously, I mean, there's a lot that's going to change here because I've got to pick up a kicker because my kicker's on a bye. My quarterback is on a bye. And I've got all these trades going through, so I've got to wait until Thursday before I can fully set my lineup.
Yeah.
So I can't really give yay or nay on this one until I actually see what I can do. But Amari Cooper is on a bye week this week, so I can't start him. So it would be Tyreek Hill. So
yeah, and Robert Woods didn't do bad for you last week. Calvin Ridley is the number 2. He was kind of the number 2 receiver before, but now he's solidly in the number 2 slot.
yeah.
So Everett has done well for the Rams in the tight end position. I don't know what DJ Chark did last week, but
He about 8.8 points.
I mean, that's
not much
not
against
awful. He's a touchdown away from a good flex spot game.
Yeah, but they played the Bengals and he put up 8 points. So it really kind of pissed me off. But,
as far
waiver
as
wire ad. So
the matchups go, Aaron Rodgers is facing Kansas City's defense. Not great for you. David Johnson, if he plays, would face New Orleans defense. So that's not a good matchup for him. He's got Gurley versus Cincinnati. He's got Diggs versus Washington. He's got Taj Boyd versus the Rams, who might still be trying to figure out their cornerback situation. They definitely, I mean, miscommunications can happen, but their defense might be doing a little bit better. Waller versus Houston, Godwin versus Tennessee. I don't know, just looking at the matchups, of course, your team is incomplete right now, but Roger is set to have a pretty big week, I think.
You mean Josh?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
I can't. Why do I do that? It doesn't even make sense to me.
I don't know.
How about that Pop-Tart video, though? Oh, my gosh.
That was a great video. That was hilarious.
If you haven't seen the Pop-Tart video, go look at the Pop-Tart video. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay. If you know, you know. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, the matchups that he's got kind of worries me. But once I see my matchups with my whole basically half of a team, a whole new half of a team, then
McCaffrey versus San Francisco, not great for you.
Me.
Not good.
No.
But the Minnesota defense versus the Washington Redskins, that could be potentially solid for you.
Yeah, that could be my saving grace this week. So yeah, we'll move on because
I'm gonna pick Josh to win right now. Just looking at his team versus your kind of incomplete, scraggly team, but that could change once I see Tyreek Hill and Jacoby Brissett in that lineup.
Yeah. All right. So next we have Team Hairless Jess versus Mind Flayer Bonner. 2, 2, and 5 teams battling for I don't know, just because they don't have any other options.
It's only 2 women in our league. I guess they're battling to see who's the better woman.
I
guess. Yeah, maybe. Possibly.
I would say.
I guess we got Bruce as well.
Yeah. Based on marriage, Brittany's definitely the better woman.
Yeah.
Because, no person in their right mind would marry somebody like Jed.
Facts.
But Jess is awesome, so I can't really say that. But yeah, seriously, you need to rethink who you married. Anyway,
Jess she's always the highest projected player. Like, she's always the highest projected team in the league. And it doesn't always make sense, but looking at her team this week, it kind of makes sense. Matt Stafford versus the Giants, Le'Veon Bell versus Jacksonville. She has Michael Thomas versus Arizona. So I think it's going to be tough for Brittany to overcome. But, I mean, she's got some good matchups too. Watson versus Oakland, Carson versus Atlanta. She needs her receivers and tight end to show up just because they haven't for 3 weeks in a row or whatever it is. And does she start Juju Smith-Schuster? Maybe. I don't know. It depends on who the Steelers run out there, wheel out there, or whatever to throw him the ball. She's just in a bad situation, I feel like, with that Juju pick.
Yeah. Yeah, taking him, that was her first pick, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, let me look here.
It was high up there.
Yep. 5th overall. That's tough.
And it wasn't a bad pick, to be honest. He was projected to get 1,600 to 1,800 yards and possibly be the number one receiver in the league. You can't predict losing Roethlisberger.
Yeah. And Mason Rudolph.
And Josh Dobbs.
I mean, I think for me that the fact that he would have to put all of the work on himself and be the number one receiver there in Pittsburgh, that would have been enough for me to not draft him in the first round, maybe second round. But hindsight 2020. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I was nervous to draft him. He, like you said, he could have been the number one receiver, best receiver in the whole league as far as fantasy goes. But he also has a bigger responsibility this year. And he's the guy getting double and triple team now. So maybe he doesn't show up as much as he used to. So it was a big risk. And as of right now, it's not paying off.
Yeah. So I think Jess is going to win this week. I don't see the matchups being too great for Brittany. Other than Deshaun Watson, Chris Carson. I mean, Frank Gore's not going to be doing much.
And
Dallas ran all over.
Looks great. It's solid all the way through with Josh Jacobs showing up like crazy last week. Michael Thomas has not dropped off at all with Breeze being out. Stafford, he's always good for 15 to 20 points. Le'Veon Bell versus Jacksonville. I mean, he's kind of been lingering right there between average to good. And if he can go from good to great, especially against a team like Jacksonville, she might have a really good point scorer right there. But I think Jess is going to win this week just because her team looks solid all the way across, double digits from almost every position.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to take Jess.
Sorry, Brittany.
In that matchup.
I love you, Brittany.
All right, so on to the next matchup. We've got Bruce, VA Chalupa Batman versus Injured Reserve. Roger.
And this is to see who's the best woman in the league.
Yes. So we've already buried Roger. He's got a running back coming his way.
He does.
Josiah has Prescott on a bye week.
Oh, man. Don't do that to me. I did it to Josh and Roger. You just called me Bruce. That hurt.
Huh?
You called me Bruce. You said Josiah instead of Bruce.
Oh, sorry.
It hurt.
That's worse than
Screw
Josh
you,
being
Bruce.
called Roger.
I know. Roger's a great guy.
Yeah. Bruce has Prescott on a bye.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have another quarterback.
Interesting.
So I'm interested to see who he's going to pick up, or if he even remembers to.
I wonder if he could start Dawson Knox in his quarterback spot.
I mean, maybe.
Possibly.
Leonard Fournette versus the Jets. Chase Edmonds. Devontae Adams is still questionable. Delaney Walker's questionable on his team. And on Rodgers' side, he's got Brady versus Cleveland.
He still has 4 quarterbacks though.
Yeah.
Well, he's trading
But he's
Brissett
got-
away, but he's got to decide between Minshew, Breeze, and Brady. Breeze has to be coming back relatively soon.
I'm not sure if he's going to be back this week or if they're going to bring him back after their bye week.
That would make a lot of sense, actually.
Yeah, because they've got one more game versus Arizona this week and then a bye week. So there's a good chance that they're not going to bring him back just because it's Arizona and they've been playing really, really well. Just give him those extra couple weeks to rest and bring him back. Whenever after the bye week. I think that's probably what they're going to do.
John Brown has been the best receiver that the Bills have.
Yep.
So that's a pretty solid play. Austin Hooper has been a great tight end for where Roger drafted him. And then, I mean, he's got to start either Sammy Watkins or Golden Tate, or maybe even possibly both. So I don't know. His team is not looking great. Neither team is looking great as far as putting up over 100 points this week.
Now, he doesn't have Sammy Watkins.
He will, though, won't he?
No, I had to just drop Sammy Watkins because of my bench.
Oh, well, Roger, Sammy Watkins is out there on the waiver wire. You might need him.
Sammy Watkins has also been hurt for like 3 weeks, and he's still probably not going to be coming back. So
classic Sammy Watkins.
Yeah. I got what I needed out of him for 1 week, and then he's been riding my bench. So, hoopy doopy.
Yep.
But I think Roger will win this week. Put him up at the 2-6 spot.
I don't know, man.
Maybe.
I don't know.
This is a tough one.
All right, Bruce, this is your challenge. If you're listening on your stupid little Android phone, if you don't beat Roger this week, we are going to bury you.
I'm going to make a bold prediction here in that Dalvin Cook is going to get hurt on Thursday.
Oh, gosh.
Just because he is on Roger's team now. So I'm kind of like secretly hoping that happens because that would just be hilarious.
That would make me so sad. I like Dalvin Cook. Especially,
I do too, but just because, the trade and then now watch Tyreek Hill and Amari Cooper are both going to get hurt. So
Tyreek Hill already got the Roger.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'll take him. I mean, Amari Cooper did too last week.
Oh, yeah. Shoot.
So, all right. Yeah. Let's go ahead and get to the next one here. We've got Michael versus Jed.
Another big
versus bald bear fighter.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm excited.
This is so hard whenever we're not in the same room. I can only see I can only see your eyes and your forehead because of where you're placed.
Well, I mean,
that's fine.
I can't see your face at all because you've got a...
Well, it's because you told me you didn't want to see it. See, and he's winking at you.
He is.
It's totes adorbs.
I feel like I should sing Hakuna Matata with you.
You won't. We can't do that because we'll get sued.
I feel like out of everyone in this league, I'm the most likely to be Timon. Who's most likely to be Pumbaa? Is it? No, it's
Roger.
It might be Josh. Or Josh and Roger, because apparently they're the same person.
Roger sings better than Josh.
Josh has a great voice. Josh has a great voice.
Yeah, Josh does. Yeah. It might be Roger.
Michael's definitely Scar.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
Michael or Jed?
You're cutting out a little bit here. No.
Oh, sorry.
I feel like Jed is the monkey that
Rafiki?
holds. Yeah.
He's not. He's not that smart. He can't be Rafiki.
Brittany's the monkey.
Yeah, Brittany's Rafiki, definitely. Jed and Jess are like the crazy hyenas. Like Jed's like the crazy hyena, and then Jess is like the ghetto one.
Yeah.
For sure.
Oh, definitely. With the ghetto booty.
Yeah.
Who would Nathan be? It's been so long since I
Nathan-
watched that movie.
Nathan would probably be Mufasa.
Isn't he the dad?
Yeah.
Wait, then who's the Lion King?
Simba?
Who's Simba?
Well, it's not me or Bruce, so.
I don't know. I could kind of see it. You could be a Lion King. You've got a nice little mane there. Bruce is
I'm
one
growing
of
it back.
Bruce is one of the insects that they eat during that song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
All right.
All right,
there
tune
you
in
go.
next week for whenever we compare the Fantasy Football League to another Disney movie. All right. So
Weigh in. Weigh in on the group chat.
So-
Who do you think I am?
Yeah.
Who do you think Daniel is? And Bruce, you can't weigh in because we kicked you out of that chat. Whatever.
Yep. Yeah, we've got a completely separate chat because those green texts are annoying. So Bruce or Bald Bear, Jed versus Michael. Who's going to win? I think it's up in the air. I think probably Jed.
It's probably
I don't know. I haven't even looked at it.
It's Michael's team has just shown that week after week, they're not, even when Jed lost last week, he scored 111 points. So that's been a bad week for him. So in order for Michael to beat him, Jed is going to have another bad week. But even at 111 points, he would have beat Michael last week. So Michael's team actually has to show up and do something. Michael's going to have to score 120 points to win, and I don't think his team has it in them. I'm going to pick Jed too.
If Michael gets a different quarterback, I could see him pulling out a win. If he can get a quarterback to get him 25, 30 points.
Well, he has Darnold versus the Dolphins next week, and I don't know what he's doing in waiver wires, but
yeah, I mean, he's definitely looking at a quarterback in waiver wires because I had offered, or we had talked about a trade. So we'll see there, see if we can get something worked out with that or see who he gets from the waivers. If he can get a decent quarterback, I think that there's a good chance that Michael could pull out a win here.
AJ Green is doubtful for this week, which is different than out. He's probably not going to be in, but AJ Green is now being murmured that possibly within the next couple weeks he will be back.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins versus Washington could be really big for Jed.
Especially versus Washington because he's going to want to put them next to Roger in the grave.
Oh, yeah. Aaron Jones has been doing really well. Carlos Hyde,
he's actually been doing really well as well.
He's had 2 good weeks.
Hey, that's better than
last week
Marlon Mack has been doing.
Well, that's true. This past week, Hyde only put up 3 points. Michael's, if he could have a week of consistent play from all of his team, he'll win this week. But he's always getting 90, 100 points, but it's because of his defense, which is probably going to have another big week this week with the Patriots defense.
But
thanks, Josh, for dropping them to the waivers.
Stupid.
Josh, you would be hands down in first place right now if you didn't drop them to the waivers.
That's actually big facts. And I think that is not as much of an advantage for Michael this week because Jed has the Bears defense versus the Chargers, who have also been not great. And the Bears haven't been the number one defense like they were projected to be. But against a team like the Chargers that is struggling, they could get, 27 turnovers and a touchdown possibly. But so even though
it could also go the opposite way where they could, do really bad because they're just getting overwhelmed because that Bears offense can't stay on the field long enough to get them rest.
Yeah, it's not really been fair for the Bears defense as far as fantasy goes because you can only stop the other team so many times before your offense goes 3 and out and punts it back. So
yeah,
their defense is still really good. They are just on the field a lot.
Yeah. I think this one's going to be close.
It is a good matchup all the way top to bottom. But like I said, Jed's team has been showing up. Michaels has taken a few weeks off, and it's going to take Michael some point scoring to win.
I think
in order for him to win, he's going to need to win. You can't lose in this league and hope to win. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm giving
No, I know.
ESPN analyst stuff right there.
All right, Booger. Booger. You got to score touchdowns to score points. You got to get in the end zone to win the game.
Did you hear?
Which is technically not true if you're the 49ers, because you could just kick field goals and beat the Redskins. So.
Booger McFarland last night, he said it's really easy to play defense in the red zone because the end zone is your 12th defender. And so technically you have 12 defenders out there on the field. I'm sitting there thinking, mute button, like, get off my TV.
Oh, I was actually listening to a podcast whenever I was watching that game because I can't stand Booger, and I ended up turning it off like at the end of the third quarter anyway because it was boring to watch.
ESPN just announced that they're going to be carrying the XFL, which is good for the XFL because ESPN buried them the last time that they tried to have a league, but also bad for them because Booger McFarland's probably going to be calling their games. So you hate to see it, but good for the XFL. They have a major... Maybe we'll do fantasy XFL through the summer.
Maybe they'll just take Booger and get him out of the NFL and let him do like one a week for the XFL. That way I don't ever have to listen to him call games in the NFL again. That would be
He doesn't deserve to be in a high school game.
No.
I wouldn't let him call a Pee-wee game.
No. I wouldn't let him call his mom.
I might call his mom.
Who am I kidding? Yeah, I'd call his mom too, probably, maybe. I don't know. If she looked anything like him, hell no.
Oh, man.
Anyway. All right, Booger. Go find a different job. All right. Let's go ahead and get to the last matchup of the week. We've got the Wrath of Quon Nathan versus Josiah. Unsolicited DAC picks.
First place versus second place. It's the second week in a row that I've faced... Wait, was Michael second place last week? I think he was.
I think so, yeah.
Well,
yeah, because he was above Nathan.
Yeah, so I'm going to have to take down two number 2 teams in order to hold my number 1 spot. And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I don't think it's going to happen for me because it's just... It doesn't... Nathan's team looks like it has great matchups. He's actually projected to beat me by 24 points.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. I'm going to put Nick Chubb back in. That's going to be good for me. But
versus New England?
Man.
This might be the week, Josiah. This might be the week. I think Nathan could take this.
I think he is going to take it. I have Thielen, who's out completely. Let me slide somebody in there. And then Latavius Murray, he might play. He might not play. Who knows? Yep, this is the week I'm going down. So
losing Adam Thielen on the week that they play Minnesota or play Washington is tough because that could have been a game where he got you 30 or 40 points. Which also plays into my whole playing Josh where he's got Diggs. So I might get fucked on that.
Depending on who starts right now, Kamara's projected to get almost 20 points and Latavius Murray's projected to get only 6. So depending on who starts next week, I'm going to slide Kamara in just for projection's sake. Whoever starts is going to get about 15 points.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, either one of those running backs is going to actually produce for you. They might also do the same thing with Kamara as they're going to probably do with Breeze and let him sit another week and get healthy.
Yeah,
and come back after the bye. But even then, Latavius Murray will put some points up for you.
I moved some things around. I sat Thielen. I'm now projected 118.6 points to his 114.6 points. So I feel better about myself. But like I said, it's still not great. Russell Wilson coming off his worst week. Nick Chubb versus New England. Zach Ertz coming off his worst week, going up against Buffalo. Eckler going up against Chicago. I don't know. It's just I'm gonna have to do some. toying with this lineup to see who I want to start.
Both of your defenses should do really well. I mean, Seahawks versus Atlanta, Saints versus Arizona. I mean,
I also have the Steelers versus Miami on my bench, and I still haven't decided who I'm going to start there. I'm probably going to do New Orleans just because. If Matt Ryan doesn't play, 100% New Orleans defense.
yeah, I mean, Arizona. Not
They're facing. No, yeah, that's what I meant. So
Saints are
that's
playing
what I meant.
Atlanta, yeah.
Josh, Roger, whatever.
Yeah.
I've had a long day. I worked some overtime today, not on purpose. Go ahead, Daniel. Take it away.
All right.
I'm probably going to lose
This
week.
one's going to be close. I'm hoping that you lose this week because if you lose and if I lose, I need you to lose because we're still one game apart. If I win and you lose, great. If I win and you win, I'm still just one behind you. So
I think it's the other way for you. I think you should be rooting for me to win because you're never going to catch me. You need to get over that. But you can hop Nathan for that second place. And
well, I mean, technically I am
that.
in second place because I've got more points than he does. But since we're in different divisions, I'm in third place. So technically I'm in second place. But the nice thing about the divisional matchups, though, is that if you're in first place in our division and I'm in second place in our division, I have to play against the first place in their division. So I don't have to play against you in the playoffs.
That's true.
That first round. So either way, I need to be right there with you. I can't afford to lose because I've got people nipping at my heels. So
yeah.
And with Josh or with Rod or Jesus, I'm in the same boat as you. If Michael and since Michael and Jed are playing each other, one of them is going to have 5 wins. So if Josh loses, or if I lose, or if Nathan loses, that could push one of us out of the playoff talk. So,
and even though I'm kind of somewhat comfortably in first place at the moment, we just saw with Michael where he fell from first place all the way down to 6th place, just like that. With the drop, just with a couple bad weeks in a row, and with as close as you guys are to me, if I were to lose 2 weeks in a row, which is definitely possible, I'd be completely out of the playoffs with how well everyone else is scoring. So I need to keep winning in order to make sure I make the playoffs and take home the trophy because that's the only thing I have in life right now.
That's very sad.
Well, it's more than you have in life because I'm going to beat you.
Okay. Well, we'll see about that. I'm going to take Nathan this week, and that's my prediction.
I think it's going to be Nathan as well, but I'm hoping that Russell Wilson turns it around because in order for me to win, I'm going to need that. And if he shows up, that'd be great for me. Because I'm not starting Phillip Rivers against the Bears.
That would be a dumb move. You should do that, actually.
That would be big dumb.
Big dumb. All right. I'm done.
Yeah, what else?
Let's get out of here.
What else is there to do? Famous last words. You got any famous last words for the week?
Yeah, Nathan's going to win.
Listen to our podcast coming out on Thursday.
Yes.
We interviewed Loving WV.
Loving West Virginia?
Loving West Virginia.
I'm excited to listen to it because I wasn't there for it, and I like Loving West Virginia.
It was a really good episode. If you've made it this far in this episode, make sure you listen to
us out on Thursday. And don't forget that we are officially bi-weekly now.
Yes.
And check us out everywhere.
Yeah, we didn't really plug anyone else.
No. Check out our other podcasts.
Mythos had a crazy episode. If you haven't listened to Video Game Mythos yet with the Ben Drowned episode, shout out to Michael. And I think you did a lot of editing on that as well.
Yeah, I did the editing for him and the music and stuff. So
go listen.
I was creeped out because I went over to my grandparents because they had to go to the hospital really early and they needed me to drive them. So I was sitting in the old creepy house surrounded by all these antiques, and I was editing that episode with my headphones on, and it was just like the creepiest shit.
Dude,
but it was such a good episode.
I listened to that in my car on the way home in the dark, and when I got home, I turned the flashlight on my phone and make sure it locked the door behind me. You know, you run up the stairs real quick.
Yeah.
Oh,
You don't want to get grabbed. That's why I don't put my bed like on a frame, because I don't like the feeling of something potentially being under my bed. I don't like it at all. So I have to have my mattress on the ground.
oh. I always wondered why you did that when we come over to play.
Yeah, or if I do have a bed that sits up off the ground, underneath of it is just packed full of stuff, like absolutely packed full of stuff. Like in the basement over at Michael's, whenever I had to build my bed frame because the floor was on a slant, the underneath of it was just packed full of stuff. So I'm weird.
There you go.
Anyway,
there you go. You learned a little bit about us this week.
Me. Yeah,
we're definitely terrified of video game podcasts, and we're definitely both better looking than Jed. Tune in next week to figure out who won, I guess.
Yeah. Absolutely. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeet.